Alright, so this video is for the quick practice on the bottom of your complete the square note. So the 1 and 2 on this video. Remember, when we do complete the square, you want to make sure that the leading coefficient, the number in front of the x squared, is 1, which is what we have here. So we're allowed to use the method of complete the square. To start, we're going to add 2 to both sides. Now, once we add 2, we rewrite our quadratic. And in place of that 2 that we moved, we put a plus a box. On the other side, we'll have 2 plus box as well. We have to put a plus box on both sides. To fill in the box, you take half of this middle number, so half of 6, and square it. Half of 6 is 3, and 3 squared is 9. So I'm going to put 9 in both boxes. Now, the right-hand side simplifies really nicely for us. 2 plus 9 is 11. Remember, we talked on the notes about how this trinomial on the right, we created it to factor into 2 factors that are exactly the same. We created a perfect square trinomial. And in this perfect square trinomial, we get an x in both. And then the numbers that fill in are going to be half of the middle number, and that's going to go where the blue dots are. So half of 6 is positive 3. Now remember, we know that since these are the same, we can rewrite the left-hand side as x plus 3 squared equals 11, and then all you have to do is solve for x. To solve for x, you take the square root of both sides. You get x plus 3 equals, now when I take a square root, I write plus or minus the square root of 11. 11 does not simplify, so you can leave it under the radical. And we subtract 3. When I subtract 3, it goes in front of the plus or minus. And your final answer here is going to be negative 3 plus or minus radical 11. And that's your answer. Now when I look at number 2, I have 2x squared plus 8x minus 24. I first have to start by dividing every term here by 2. I'm not allowed to have a 2 as my leading coefficient. When I do that, I get x squared plus 4x minus 12 equals 0. All right, now I have a leading coefficient of 1, and I need to move the 12 to the other side and replace it with a box. So I have x squared plus 4x plus a box equals 12 plus box. Now, to fill in the box, again, we take half of this middle number and square it. Half of 4 is 2, and 2 squared is 4. So I put a 4 in both boxes. What you then have on the right-hand side is 16. And on the left-hand side, remember, this trinomial is going to factor into 2 factors that are the same. The number that's going to go in those factors is half of the middle term, and half of 4, positive 4, is positive 2. All right, we rewrite the left-hand side to be x plus 2, the quantity squared, equals 16. Now, I can take the square root of both sides now, because I'm getting rid of the square. And that gives me x plus 2 equals. Now, 16 does square root. I have to put a plus or minus, but the square root of 16 is 4. So all I have left to do is subtract 2. This part doesn't change, though. The negative 2 goes in front of the plus or minus. And I'll get x equals negative 2 plus or minus 4. However, just like the quadratic formula, when I have no radical left, I need to simplify those numbers fully to make it negative 2 plus 4 and negative 2 minus 4. Well, negative 2 plus 4 is 2, that's one answer, and negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6. So those are rational answers. You could have factored the original quadratic. All right, so you've done these 2. I want you to then go to the complete the square practice and try those problems. There'll be a short video on those as well.